It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, let's review.
Season 2. We'll analyze the scene.
Sounds holly jolly to me.
Before it's over, let's begin.
Bum.
Bum.
Yeah, that's
Again.
right. Oh, sorry. God damn it. That's right, folks. Since the Christmas season's upon us, we thought the way to celebrate and to get into the holiday spirit would be with some holiday reviews.
12 to be exact, decoratively divided into 4 categories for your Yuletide pleasure.
So without further ado, silver up those bells, light the multicolored lights, and go out and build a snowman as you join us for some seasonal shenanigans. See? I don't know. That imitation of Jim Carrey went from like really bad Jim Carrey to like stereotypical gangster really fast. See? And tonight we'll be talking about our film selection, our second film selection. See? Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. 2000 adaptation, directed by Ron Howard. How do you do, BlueDragonFive?
Okay.
Okay, so I think, let me just turn off my webcam, so we'll make this just an audio thing, because I don't know, I think I'll just go smoother that way. So, kind of botched that intro. What else is new? Moving right along. Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, BlueDragonFive. This was a major event for me when it came out. I remember just seeing the poster for it, and the poster was really simple. It was just the hand of the Grinch in the Santa Claus outfit, you know, reaching down and picking up the ornament with the long fingers and everything like that. Do you remember that poster?
Oh yeah. This is the hype for this was big. I mean, because of course we all know the Christmas special, and intrinsically we all know the classic 30-minute special. And this is like it's coming to the big screen in a full-length feature. Oh my God, how could it turn out?
And this, yeah, it was a really big production. You know, you had Ron Howard as a director, and he was coming off of really big stuff like Apollo 13 in the 90s.
Oh yeah, Richie Cunningham's coming with another movie. It's going to be awesome. Or thinking.
You have Jim Carrey in there, of course.
Of course, it's a great cast. That's the thing. It's a lot of big names. Molly Shannon, Christy. It's not Brinkley, but it's like Barninsky. I can never get her last name right. The one she's on The Good Wife, and she's Leonard's mom on The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you know, just really a lot of big name talent involved. And I just remember, just from the production stills alone, just seeing Jim Carrey in that prosthetic makeup, just the sets, you know, all of this was done practically. I mean, of course, there's some CGI here and there, but, you know, for a lot of it, a lot of just the environments and everything, what really makes it stand out, and I think probably the biggest thing that you can take away from this even still is just the production design on this film is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I actually went to Universal Studios and went on the tram tour, and Whoville is still intact. It's still there, and it's pretty cool. It's all very, very crammed together. But you know, you got the town hall, and you got the shopping district, and everything like that. It's a very, very tight space, as you would expect a Whoville to be. So it's very appropriate. So anyways, BlueDragonFive, you want to jump right into this thing, talk about the plot?
Sure. So the plot in a nutshell, folks. You know the story, but just to kind of cover a little bit where the movie goes into, let's just kind of recap it for the sake of that, because we're going to go really in-depth when we talk about the special. It's Christmas time in Whoville.
Whoa, spoilers. Come on now. I'm just kidding.
So it's Christmas time in Whoville, and a who goes by the name the Grinch, who lives just north of Whoville, doesn't like it. After some old memories and origins are drudged up by Cindy Lou Who, the Grinch sets out to steal Christmas. That's the movie and the story in a nutshell.
Yeah, and that, like, I think about 5 words of your synopsis are exactly where this movie just goes off the rails and really kind of train wrecks the whole thing and still makes it kind of painful to get through in a way. Here's the thing with this movie for me. The things that it does right, it does really, really well. Like I said, the production design is great. The cast, for the most part, is terrific. I think when it adapts the book and it actually gets into the parts where it's the memorable, iconic stuff from the book, visually it's a perfect translation. But we did not need the backstory, and we did not need for it. I don't know how the hell they could have padded out the runtime, but a backstory was not the way to go. Would you agree?
Well, I think they definitely could have approached any backstory. They still should have kept the mystery alive. Like, you don't need to go that deep into the Grinch's past, but it would be a good idea to kind of get to know why he hates Christmas a little bit. Like not the full reason, like why he intrinsically, if he has a deep-seated history.
To quote CinemaSins and the Nostalgia Critic, he's big, ugly, and hairy. What more do you want? I mean, everyone shuns him on appearance. That's basically the idea.
Exactly. Yeah, a bit of that, but also that's what they could have spent time dwelling on, just seeing him really hate Christmas instead of just a little sequence of him fantasizing about what he hates about Christmas. Like, see him actually just hate the season.
For sure.
A stretch in there, then of course just the bit we're just kind of planning on what he's going to do. That's your middle chunk, and the end chunk is the movie.
So this is a very divisive film, so I think we're going to have fun talking about the naughty and nice list. But before we get to that, you want to get into some characters?
Sure. So of course our title character, the Grinch, played wonderfully by Jim Carrey.
There's a few moments here and there that are a little choppy for me. But I think that's more the writing than anything else. Anytime ass cheeks are involved, I'm just like, But for the most part, this guy's good. I think he has a good character arc involving Cindy Lou Who. We'll get into that with the dynamics. But just first of all, the look of him is fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, Jim Carrey, he really got into. He was able to, first of all, just kind of, you saw him like walk around. You were able to see him walk around the set just kind of without it, just because you just kind of get into the moves, like how this guy would move with just the knowledge of what the prosthetics and like the suit would be like. Then, of course, just seeing him use that to his advantage when he's finally in the suit, just for the behind the scenes stuff I'm referring to. Sorry. When he's just walking around, there's have this great kind of like he's hunched over, he's got the posture just right, so he kind of moves a lot like the Boris Karloff Grinch in the animated specials, how he has that lumbering weight to work with.
There's a lot of iconic shots from the special that get replicated very well here with his style of acting.
Oh yeah, and of course, just visually on the face, it's astoundingly beautiful. It looks like he's another creature completely. You don't see any human actor in that thing.
Absolutely.
And of course, with Jim Carrey, the best thing about the guy is he has this great elastic, expressive face, so he can just do this. Some people cite it negatively as mugging, but no, he's just got a really expressive face. That's what you want. Can you imagine not taking advantage of that if you had an actor like Jim Carrey?
Okay, yeah, I'll agree with you with that mugging thing. Watching the movie again, I definitely don't think it's a criticism. I think it's actually a strength of the movie because, like I said, you get some of those iconic close-up shots, and they're ripped straight out of the special, and they look great here, and Jim Carrey just emulates it so well.
That's the thing. You want that expressiveness with the characters, kind of this bigger-than-life character.
Exactly. We'll get into it more, but I think the backstory was completely unnecessary. I think Muppet Baby Grinch is horrifying and not in a good way.
Yeah, there are definitely issues with the flashback stuff. We'll get into it. I mean, there are maybe a redeeming value or two, but there are a lot of problems. We'll get into it, though.
Yeah. Is that all the surface level stuff we have to talk about with Carrey?
I'm trying to think there's anything else major. Again, he really just plus of the voices. I think the voice is decent. Obviously, he's not trying to emulate Karloff, which don't get me wrong. I mean, you don't want to step over another.
No. I think that's a smart choice. He made it his own for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, we all love Karloff. That's the voice we always imagine with the Grinch. But still, I like how he kind of gave him this great kind of grumpy guy character with the voice. Just like. Look at them. He's just like this great kind of. Feels like it's this vein of like a W.C. Fields type character. I really like that. Just kind of this classic kind of bigger than life hermit character. It's just like he thinks he's like a rich socialite, but he's not. He literally lives among the trash. His love feels so better than the Who's because he lives on top of them in a way. He just says, look at the Max. Just, I really don't like them. No, I don't.
He's got a lot of fun delivery. He talks through his mouth quite a lot.
He does. Some people kind of criticize him for that, saying it's like a really a wacky Sean Connery, but no. It's just kind of like
I don't really see the Sean Connery.
What?
I said I don't really see the Sean Connery. I mean, I think if you wanted to stretch it, you could maybe say that.
Yeah, it's like mostly eccentric. It's just kind of like just kind of insane and eccentric who's just been kind of hermitized.
Sure, sure.
All right,
Okay.
let's
So
go
you want to
to
move on to Cindy Lou?
who? Yes.
Ooh, okay.
So, look, the kid who's playing her is not bad.
No, I mean, we just had to suffer through Jake Lloyd and Jingle All the Way, and not to pile on Jake Lloyd anymore, but this is a step up from Jake Lloyd.
Aside from her moment, which we'll get to with the naughty.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that for sure.
But aside from that, I think she delivers a good performance. You know, she's a good kid actor.
This is, aside from the backstory, this is the kind of stuff that I actually like that was adapted. Because we get a lot more dimension to her character. She's not just this one note, like, plot device that happens in the middle of the story.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to take liberties, this is the liberty to take because, you know, in the book, she's like 2 years old.
Exactly.
In the story, like Cindy Lou, who's no older than 2. You know, it's like you can't get a lot of mileage out of that with the character, and making her kind of like the co-lead with the Grinch was a good idea.
It was, because that's, besides Max, that's the character that we remember from the book, other than the Grinch, is Cindy Lou Who. You know, the whole broken ornament and the lie and everything. It's an iconic fixture of the story.
Of course, I mean, these two kind of are linked through that story in some route, so they just kind of adapted that a little bit, added a little bit here and there. Of course, there's still some issues with it in the movie, but you know, they took that scene, but they kind of just applied it to the overall plot.
Yeah, so I guess the main kind of strength of her character is how she's kind of the conduit in terms of seeing the humanity in the Grinch.
Yeah. Again, she is kind of the lightning rod for change for the Grinch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's good to kind of intertwine their arcs and what they were going for with the movie. You can tell, again, kind of making this. It's a plot line that doesn't exactly pan out that well, but it's a good idea though. That you're kind of looking at commercialism with the Who's. It's not a bad idea.
It bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot in terms of the spirit of the original, though.
I'm saying though, it's like an idea that wasn't carried out well enough, though. But I'm saying the idea that you have the Grinch, obviously, who does not. He's fed up with Christmas. He hates everything about it. Again, the why is still a little screwed up in the past. We're not going to dwell on that right now. But look at Cindy Lou Who, as a parallel to that. Cindy Lou Who is being disillusioned with Christmas like the Grinch because it's a little commercial and she doesn't quite get what the people have lost sight of what the holidays are about. And who's her mentor? The guy who still has no idea what the holidays are about. That's a good idea.
It is. It is.
That's what I'm saying. But of course, the commercialism, why she can't really get into the holiday spirit. Again, good idea, just doesn't have enough substance in the film we are presented with, which we'll get into with the naughty and nice.
Okay, so
Max.
Who else do we have? Max, yes,
Max.
good movie dog for sure.
Max is good.
Not really a ton to say there. A good adaptation visually.
I heard the dog that played Max was a rescue dog. Actually, they saved its life.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, which is good. Dog. It's always, you know, the old saying in Hollywood: never work with animals or children. This movie does both, and you know, it pulls it off.
Does both rather well because they are kind of like the two leads opposite the Grinch.
And you got to remember, this dog pulled that sled all the way up that mountain.
Max is a really sympathetic character, especially when you look at the context of the sequels and Grinch Night and everything like that.
You know what, I'll tell you. I guess I'll tell you this here because this movie might get a little negative. This discussion might get a little negative towards this movie. So I'm going to infuse this like light nostalgic story for here instead of when we talk about other stuff.
Okay.
Remember when I was a kid, one of my fondest Christmas gifts was I got this book. And it was about the Grinch. It wasn't even the actual title book. It was like one of these spin-off books. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And it was about the Grinch and Max and about them being buddies. And it's like, oh, it's like Max is trying to kind of cheer the Grinch up, and it's like, oh, that's so sweet. It was like the Grinch's dog and the Grinch's grumpy, and it was like this sweet little thing. It's like made you fall in love with Max all over again. I just loved it. One of my little favorite things about Max, that little book I had.
That's nice.
Just wanted to mention that. Okay,
so should we get to the asshole mayor?
Let's get to Augustus, sure.
All right.
It's a fantastic actor playing him, though, Jeffrey Tambor.
You know, it's almost kind of like a situation where he's way more likable in Muppets from Space, though.
Oh, of course. I mean, come on.
Way more likable in Muppets from Space. This all around, this character is one of the big problems of the movie. So I feel like we almost need to shelf him entirely for the
Why can't we get Richard Kind to play this guy?
Oh my God! It's funny you mentioned that because I was just thinking about Richard Kind being in this movie in some capacity. I'm like, he would have fit in like a glove.
The thing is, he could have just still been the mayor of Gotham, but he could have still been mayor of Gotham. James just put like a little who knows on him. It would have been fine. Yeah, more fun, cowardly, and competent than just kind of self obsequious, just kind of political figures like, oh, elect me next year. That's what he is. He's all self-absorbed. He's treating people like garbage. He's like trying to discredit children. He's not a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, and the worst part about it is the fact that this story did not need a villain. The whole point of this goddamn story is that there are no villains.
Yeah, that's the idea, and unfortunately...
So it really bothers me. There's certain things
because this
about
guy
this
obviously...
adaptation.
It's obvious. Even in the flashback, you see this guy is the root of all the Who's problems.
Oh, God. That flashback. Ugh.
Essentially, this is going to really pain you to hear this. It pains me just to even think it. He's the Grinch's Joker from Batman '89.
No.
He is. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, God. Let's just move on.
Hey, pain hurts me more than it hurts you, believe me.
All right. I know. I believe you on that front.
Okay, let's see. Lou Who.
He's good. Now, this actor, he was in something else, so just remind me, because I'm tense.
I love this actor. Bill Irwin.
Right.
Now, Bill Irwin, one of his best roles, the role that kind of says that he could actually play the Joker if they ever did Dark Knight Returns, the whole movie. It's in CSI, he played a really fantastic serial killer named Nate Haskell. And in that, essentially, he's Joker without the gimmick. That's what he plays in that. He's just so fantastic. He's also in Interstellar as the voice of Tars, the.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Here's the great thing about Bill Irwin. The reason I think that another reason they sought him out for this movie. This is Bill Irwin in real life, and I think even still to this day, I've seen some pictures of him. I was looking on Wikipedia, and I think they updated his picture. So, he's a trained clown.
That he totally has a look for that.
Yet another Joker thing for him.
Oh God.
Again, seriously, for anyone out there, including you, Tiki, just watch some clips of him as Nate Haskell in CSI. You're gonna see him as Joker. Essentially, he could be Dark Knight Returns Joker, hands down.
Okay, I'll take a look at it.
Very terrifying.
I think he's one of the Who's in this movie that's not caught up in the commercialism, which is a good thing.
It's like he's going with the rest of the fish in the pond, so to speak. But he's still a nice guy. He's just kind of caught it. It's like what he's used to, what they're used to. He's in the tradition. I mean, he's nice enough. He cares about his family. He's a nice enough guy. But he just doesn't want to make waves.
Right. But I like how supportive he is. He's not the most memorable character, but he's fine.
That's the thing. He's solid. And of course, he has a great bit later on with the Grinch. But Let's see. Molly Shannon's character.
Molly Shannon's always fun, except for when she was in frickin' Osmosis Jones. But we'll just forget about that.
She was so. The guy was sick. Don't hold it against. I'm not getting into it. What?
That guy was Bill Murray, and I don't want to insult Bill Murray. It pains me, okay?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, everyone's too harsh. I mean, he got sick at a science fair. Don't blacklist the guy. Well, how does that get a guy fired?
Have you seen Trumbo yet, by the way?
You don't. That's a sore subject. I remember I'm unable to see it. I wanted to see that.
Okay. Anyways.
Don't dangle Cranston in front of me.
I'm sorry. I'm just genuinely curious.
Don't you think I would have told you I've seen Trumbo?
I guess so.
Anyway, Molly Shannon though, she's again kind of inattentive in the movie as the mother, but she bounces stuff on her head. She has the lighting obsession, which is kind of funny.
It is. She has kind of like again, I think the Who, whatever the hell you want to call this family, the Who's.
The Lou Who's. Again, it's kind of a weird thing. They take on. It's like kind of they take on the patriarch's first name in the last name. So it's like
Okay.
it's like they're all Lou-Who. So Lou is kind of the official middle name, along with Lou just being the. It's a weird thing. You look at it, it's like they're all Lou-Who.
So, you know, just regardless, I think this family is a lot less cynical about the holidays than most of the other Who's in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Which doesn't make up for the blatant cynicism surrounding the holiday commercialism in this movie, which I think is one of the big black marks against the adaptation.
Yeah. It's like, we see Molly Shannon's here just trying to keep up with the holiday commercialism. So she's aware of it, but she's just humbly trying to kind of fit in with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think we got 2 more, and then we're good. Because otherwise, they're just kind of fade into like little sight gags now and again. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I guess our next one should be Martha Mayhew. I'm sorry. Yeah, Martha Mayhew. That's it.
Yeah, she's decent. There's a couple good moments with her. I think it's a very sympathetic kind of angle that they're going with in terms of her, being caught between wanting to be looked at in society as like, oh, I need to be going after the mayor, the powerful guy, but then having a real soft spot for the Grinch. I don't know, but then the execution is a different thing entirely. It's, again, much like a lot of things in this movie, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, she is definitely a mixed bag, but in the beginning, she's just kind of decorating the house with that awesome lighting machine gun.
Which is cool, which is very cool.
Very cool. Of course, I don't think it really belongs. I'm not sure if it belongs in it feels very Dr. Seussian, but I'm not sure if it fits in the Grinch or not, but I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was very visually fit with the Grinch style. I don't know.
Look-wise, yeah. I'm just saying, kind of. No, sound design or something's like a little off. I'm harping on it. It's not important. What I am saying though is like, you see, like she's kind of showing up Cindy Lou Who's mom, and it seems like she's just the one of the figureheads of the like an unnecessary antagonist for the Lou Who's initially. But there was a deleted scene, by the way, of I don't know if it was in the extended cut or not, but I know there was a deleted scene where it's the lighting contest came back, and it was this really mean thing, by the way. It must have cut out because it was so mean. The mayor was judging the lighting contest, and he looked at the envelope, and he saw that, God, I feel bad I don't know her name, but, Mrs. Lou Who, Mrs. Lou Who won, yet he said Martha won just to win points with her, and it's so sad.
Yeah, that's very dickish.
I know. It's just like
again,
so
that fits
mean.
in with a lot of the cynicism of the rest of the movie.
It's like you see between the two houses, like the multicolor, like really put together one is the one that lost. It's not fair. But my point is, like, at the beginning there, she seems like she's going to be like an unnecessary antagonist, but no, there's shades of there being a little more to her. Like there's this one particular example of when Cindy Lou Who's conducting the interviews. There's always this fantastic moment I really love with her, this character. It's when she after the Grinch has made his departure in the flashback, she just has like, that was the last time we ever saw him again. Like she feels really sad because, and of course, you see in the flashback picking up the shattered ornament. And it's like there's this great sadness, and she actually might have cared about the Grinch. Like she had an interest in him, and she kind of liked the fish out of waters.
Yeah, there's glimmers of her being a sympathetic character.
Yeah, and in the end, she makes the right choice. So again, she's a mixed bag, but there are moments there that gotta make you think with her.
Okay, and then who's the last character? Because I can't for the life of me think of who it would be.
Well, think of who. Well, I was thinking primarily not. I wasn't going to say Clint Howard, but I might as well just bring him up right now. Clint Howard's character is the mayor's assistant. That's not the character I'm talking about. I'm just saying. Do you remember him?
Not really. And I just watched this movie like last night.
The mayor's assistant. The guy shaves his head when he says, "Do something."
Oh, okay, right.
That's Ron Howard's brother. Okay. Also, Ron Howard's father is the town drunk, the one who's like he's drinking that's my good stuff. That's Rance Howard.
Oh God.
But no, I was thinking that we should maybe talk about the narrator, Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah. Okay. Well, a little bit of an unconventional choice at the time, given the whole Hannibal Lecter.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying at the time, Hannibal Lecter was like, way in the public consciousness.
I gotta tell you though, Anthony Hopkins was like the perfect narrate. If you're gonna update the Grinch in some manner, that's the voice you want narrating it. You know, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, it works really well for sure, for sure.
That was a stroke of genius. On that's one of the great elements of that movie. Anthony Hopkins doing the narration, and he did it all in one day.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so really quick, you want to go through the dynamics?
Okay, the biggest dynamic, of course, being the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who. Again, they got a great kind of paralleling arc there. Kind of they're feeding into the comedy for each other. Cindy Lou Who's kind of infusing some hope into the Grinch. The Grinch just trying to kind of shake the girl into waking up.
But it's a really interesting kind of contrast for Cindy Lou Who is almost, in a way, becoming like the Grinch in her disenfranchisement of Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's very interesting. It's a new layer to the character that it was probably the best choice in terms of the adaptation, like the best overall change that they made.
Oh, yeah. And again, you get to see this great, genuine friendship that's building between the two of them. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy and her father.
Well, like we already said, the guy is, we can't really fault him. He's just sort of going along with the curve, but he's there. He's not as unattentive as Molly Shannon is.
Yeah, you know, like get this great moment where like he brings his daughter with him to go Christmas shopping, to go to the post office. He's a attentive father, and I'm not just trying to like sandbag Molly Shannon or anything. I'm just saying, it's just we see more of the two of these together, and you see, I love that he's genuinely doing all he can to kind of answer that Cindy Lou Who's questions about what's all this for? Like, who's the Grinch? I mean, he's more than willing to give her an explanation, just trying to give her the right explanation, which he doesn't really know himself. So he's giving it the effort.
Sure. And you can tell it's like the thing with this guy that I've always kind of liked is, like we said, he's going along with the curve, but you can tell in the back of his mind, he's not really all that in tune with the Christmas stuff. He's just kind of going along with it because it's the popular thing and he wants to fit in.
Yeah. And of course, you also get these great moments with this character, with the family in general. It's like he just really comes to the family's aid when they need him, like the boys. Because remember, Cindy Lou Who has those three brothers in the special who are three brothers. Two brothers in here, not three. So, I mean, she has those two brothers who are the fully grown, the stupid teenager opening we have, which we'll get to.
Oh God, yeah.
And the point is, like, when they're coming down, and they're saying the Grinch, and they're freaking out the town, and just like, of course, Lou Who just comes there and covers their mouth. Oh no, they're like playing with matches or defacing public property. Nothing that dangerous, like talking to the Grinch.
Mm-hmm.
I love he's coming to the family's aid, and of course, the biggest thing, he comes through for his daughter in the end when she's kind of getting chewed at by the mayor. Like, oh no, I'm not having that.
Oh, definitely.
Really good stuff. So. Let's see. Grinch and the Mayor.
God, do we really have to go into it? The mayor is just a total, I would say, borderline racist dick to this guy for no real reason.
I think it's because he's a fat kid.
Maybe, I guess. Okay.
No. I'm just saying because he's trying to. He feels like he may have been bullied in some. I'm saying maybe he was bullied and he's just kind of inflicting pain onto others.
I guess that I didn't really think about it like that. I guess that makes some sense.
But, I'm not giving it a pass. I'm not giving it a pass. I'm just saying that's the only rationale I can think of why he has the outs for the Grinch. Because I mean, if I were a kid in that class, I'd say, "Oh man, you see this green kid? That's awesome."
On the plus side of this dynamic, though, I do very much like the way that Carrie plays it.
Oh yeah, just
because
most.
It's almost like Norman Bates style, whenever there's a man in the same room who's dating his mother, it's just like, no, I'm serious. He's just like, just loathing. Just utterly.
Loathe entirely. Yeah, you're right. It's just you can feel the hatred, and also I love just like the little barbs to the mayor. Remember, you can tell the Grinch still carries a grudge for the mayor. Like he just launches sludge bags at the mayor's poster, like vote for August Mayhew.
Okay.
Let's see. There again, also just you get to see these moments of like the mayor just truly they still the mayor doesn't learn because he gives them this. Oh, I don't know if I'll hold it for naughty or not, but
There's a lot of stuff we have to get into.
That's the thing. There's a bunch of naughty. Look, let's just say the mayor still doesn't learn from his history with the Grinch and kind of the monster. Well, again, not entirely unsympathetic monster, but the monster he created.
Would you wager to say that the actual monster is the mayor?
Yes, politically, yes, he is definitely the monster.
How on the nose is that?
on the extended who knows.
Oh god. Okay.
That's the idea. Think about it. This guy who's just not challenged that's the unfortunate. It's yet another shrug against the movies. It looks like Whoville is just a town full of idiots run by the king of the idiots who knows how to manipulate them.
Pretty much.
That's what it looks like, because he just manipulates these people and and someone says, wait, really anyone could just speak up and say, no, it doesn't. No, the book doesn't say that. Just he goes back and forth like that. Like, seriously? Just no one challenges this guy? But, until the Grinch comes by. Okay, moving on. I guess, should we talk about Grinch and Martha?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much touched on most of what there is to talk about. She doesn't get a whole ton of screen time. I feel like even for a backstory, again, it's very unnecessary.
Yeah. But, I mean, I like in the end the Grinch gets the girl, though. It's kind of neat. I'm not saying it's necessary. I'm just saying it's neat, just given what we have. It's like, okay, something good happened to the Grinch.
I mean, one of the things I respected about The Hunchback of Notre Dame is that Quasimodo did not get the girl in the end. It's kind of like sometimes you got to just be realistic with these sort of things.
You're not begrudging him simply because he's green, are you, Tiki?
No, but I am begrudging you and Adventure Blue Dude for being blue.
Uncomfortable.
I mean, you know me. That's my one prejudice is against blue people. That's why I will never go to a Blue Man Group concert. I'd just be sitting there just stewing in rage. Okay. All right. Anyways, taking it back from the racism.
You feeling uncomfortable?
Oh, yeah.
I sure am.
Okay, so
not sending you a Christmas card.
Do you want to get into favorite scenes to lighten the tension?
Sure. Let's lighten the racist tension. It's because I'm green, isn't it? Sorry, really funny line. Okay, we're good now. Moving on to some favorite scenes.
Okay, so I guess one of my favorite moments, and this is just kind of speaking in terms of the set design in general, is I really like the slow build-up that we get for the Grinch, and I like the reveal of his lair. It's just... I'm sorry.
Okay, when you say the reveal of the lair, do you mean like when he does like the whole like like the ever so humble, there's no place like home?
Yeah, exactly.
Making sure. Technically we could get a glimpse at it with the stupid teenager opening.
No, I'm not talking about that stupid opening.
Just making sure.
I'm talking about the first real time that we see the Grinch in a full scene, and like you said, he's singing the whole "There's No Place Like Home" song, and I don't know, just I like the idea that the Grinch doesn't really realize how socially isolated he is in a way. You know what I mean? It's just,
he thinks he has everything in the world. That is
exactly.
I have everything I need right here.
So
press the star key if you'd like to fax me.
So I think this scene, it does a really good job of establishing the Grinch, establishing who he is, establishing Carrie's betrayal.
Not kerosene, Carrie.
I know, kerosene. Brought to you by kerosene. But just most of all, I just think the set design, like I said, it's both very much in tune with the typical Dr. Seuss style, but also gives a sense of isolation at the same time, which is really well done.
Oh, yeah. Again, I love how the Grinch and his props are just kind of really put together. It's like kind of like he himself is not a fully formed character, so that's reflected in all the items in his dwelling. It's just like these pieced together things that still work, but unconventionally.
Right.
So let's see. Okay, this one's kind of the obvious one. This is the best part of the whole movie. Again, one of the things this movie does right is when they kind of realize the stuff from the special in the book and just kind of put it into live action, but still keep all the majesty we remember it from, but add something a little different to it. So essentially, elements like this is what was worth making a movie for. adapting into it to a film in many respects. That you have this great sequence where, of course, how can you not have the Grinch without having the "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch" song in it?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty terrific.
And of course, just Jim Carrey. I mean, Tiki and I probably in our youth we've memorized the Jim Carrey delivery of the song in itself. It's such a fun sequence. You get to see like all the stuff we know from the songs. Because usually in the special, it was like Grinch was just kind of going around stealing Christmas as the song was playing. It was like a really long song, by the way. We only get the first. Unfortunately, we only get the not too unfortunate. I mean, there's just enough of it there, but I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing more. Where it's the song's in 3 verses. I think we get 1, maybe 2 of it. It's like 1 or a compressed second verse into the song.
The song's actually stretched out throughout a good majority of the special when you watch it.
Yeah, the special, but here I think I really want to say it's just the first verse of the 3-verse song is in the movie.
Sounds about right.
You get to see all the elements. Again, it's kind of as he's doing something, but all the elements that he's doing are reflected in the song, which is very creative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. He's making the sound effects and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, and like you said, just visually, it's just fantastic. It's a great adaptation. It looks just frame by frame at some points. It's just pulled right off of the screen from the cartoon.
He's manipulating the voice and everything. You're as cuddly as a cactus, most charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. As he's like leaping from place to place, is like you get to see again. It's a good progression reel too, just seeing how the plan is coming together. It's like it's a combination of those things. It's a lot like it is the first section of the song where he's building the Santa suit as he's doing, but like there's a lot more elements infused in it too.
Exactly.
It's just one of the best parts of Jim Carrey's delivery of it's great. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, so my second favorite scene. This is kind of where some of my childhood nostalgia comes into play. We have the scene where Cindy Lou was first introduced to the Grinch in the mailroom. And the reason why this is kind of nostalgic for me is, you know that little bit in the trailer where Cindy Lou is like, "You're the
Grinch."
Yeah, right. That scared the ever-living shit out of me as a kid. I don't know why. It was just Jim Carrey's portrayal. It's like, it's funny because when you watch the movie, it's a total straight-up goofball comedy for the most part with his portrayal. But that one little moment is just so menacing. And they stuck it in the trailer in like just the right spot. So I was afraid of this movie for a little brief period of time in my life. I just wanted to bring that up.
You're gonna think this is, well, now that I hear that, I think you're gonna think this is less silly. But there's one sequence in this movie that, as I was younger, they kind of frightened me in that same way.
What was it?
It was it's very silly. It's in the flashback, surprisingly.
Oh God.
It's when he's building the angel and he's going around the house and you see him building it. It's like he's just smashing stuff. It's very kind of somewhat intimidating.
I can see that, man. That little Grinch is scary. I know where you're coming from.
That's the thing. It's not about the little Grinch though. It's like all the stuff he's doing. It's like he's like seeing a kid play with knives and forks and just like smashing, stealing heirlooms, like and playing with fire. It's like as a kid seeing this is like, oh man, I wouldn't do any of that.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, that's like dangerous stuff. And you get hurt. Notice he had a lot of fur. You catch on fire.
Okay, but just really quick, what I like about this scene is that it does kind of play like a horror movie in some respects. I love how, she enters the room and he's all crouched up on the wall like Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, so cool.
And, and it's the first time where we see a little bit of humanity from the guy. It's a good kind of spark for the Cindy Lou storyline. Not much to say, just, kind of, I have that little bit of nostalgia for just being scared of the one delivery. So,
I love that heroic moment he has in that scene. Remember, he just pulls her out of the thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the first bit of humanity that we see from him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, of course, just to save face, he wraps her up like a gift.
And then, of course, we get, just really quick before that happens, he's in the mailroom and he's just sending out all the letters. Jury duty, jury duty, jury duty, blackmail, jury duty.
It was
Really
very.
fun.
You're right. That's just one of the great. And I believe that was improvised too, by the way.
I'm not surprised.
A
Okay.
lot of improvisation you can imagine with someone like Jim Carrey working on the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, let's see. Speaking of just kind of Grinch saving Cindy Lou Who, I love the second time that happens. I love it when I love the subtle bit. I've always loved this in the special, but the movie kind of gave it this kind of there's another level to it. I really liked where it's where the classic scene in the Grinch where the sled's going down, it's sliding off the mountain, and I love the slant on has in the movie though, where Grinch is like he just realizing, well, it's just toys, right? I mean, come on, we know what Christmas is about. So
Right. Right.
the
Exactly.
just same question. So it's the material stuff. I mean, it's not good that it gets destroyed. I mean, it's not like the end of the world or anything. Then, of course, then peril happens when because now he absolutely has to save it because that's the lesson the movie's trying to communicate that it's not about materialism. So, in theory, logically, the Grinch would realize, well, then I mean, the stuff can get destroyed and be fine. But of course, now his friend, Cindy Lou, spent the whole movie building that friendship. She's in peril. He realized this, and this is the moment. Silly as it is to say, I love his Incredible Hulk moment in this scene.
Oh, I do too. I do too.
Again, I love James Horner. Unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. James Horner, I haven't liked all his scores, but I love the score in this scene particularly. Like I was never too crazy about his score in Amazing Spider-Man, but it had its moments.
Yeah, James Horner, he's done a lot of good stuff. I think this probably
Yeah.
ranks up there with some of his most memorable work, actually.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's a good score. This one, particularly, I just love the moment where, like, it's Cindy Lou who realizes now. Well, obviously, it's a bad idea to get up on the giant bag of
Okay, you
presents.
see, that's the one thing I have with the scene. Don't get me wrong, I really love it. It's a great set piece. It's a really good finale. And it's just like, why would Cindy Lou be up there in the first place? Like, wouldn't she be smart enough to see that it was a very dangerous, precarious situation with the sled just teetering on the edge of this big cliff?
True, but barring that, let's just equate that to kid logic of, well, she thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna write it off with kid logic. Yeah.
I'm not crazy, but I'm trying to save the
She knows what the word superfluous means. This is a smart kid, okay?
All right, fine. Happy? There's another flaw to this movie, Tiki. Don't you feel special?
Yes, I am damn happy.
Can I get to my glowing moment of praise? Can I?
Go ahead.
Anyway, so I love the moment. The music's really heating up as she realizes, she's about to fall. Da, 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 da. You get the Incredible Hulk moment where you see kind of the eyes. Grinch kind of noticing this, and he taps into his inner strength. Taps into his anger, and I love this. I mean, say what you will about the flashback and the origin, which is, again, we'll get into it. But there is a neat little thing that's set up with that scene where you get to see him get angry and kind of lift that tree, and you get to see it kind of pay off here. That explains why he can do that now. He's always had kind of this, when he gets really angry, you do like the feats of strength here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I just love that he picks up that me. I love it with Batman when he saves people. I love when a superhero save people in general. Now, I'm not saying the Grinch is a superhero, but I do love people saving other people. And just Grinch, lifting that with purpose this time instead of just, hey, I've had a change in heart. I'm going to take it back to the Who's now. It's like, no, I'm going to save this girl and I'm going to save Christmas.
On a side note, I really like how they do the heart growing 3 sizes thing.
Oh yeah.
Because we see the actual heart monitor early on in the movie, and we're assuming like, okay, that's how they're going to do it later on. We're going to see the heart monitor and the heart's going to grow. But no, we just literally see like his physical heart just bulging out of his chest.
Still, just that such a heroic moment, and he's like, you see the lighting and everything. It's just him holding that sled above his head. Just such a great heroic moment. And
I would wager to say that is probably the money shot of the whole film for sure.
Oh, it has to be. But again, it's like it's such a moment with great pathos behind it. Now you're rooting for him.
Okay, so I guess my final scene comes quickly after that. It's the finale of the movie. I guess I just really like how this movie wraps up in general. I like the fact that they changed the ending to where they're all having the roast beast inside his cave. I think that's a nice touch. But god damn it, the moment I love Blue Dragon 5, first of all, we'll get into the negative with it bothers me to no end that the Who's literally go out singing a boo-hoo song.
Boo.
No,
Boo.
fuck that. Ugh. But I just have to put the singing of the song as one of my favorite moments, just because it's the goddamn song, and it's almost like Rainbow Connection in terms of like I just hear that song and I just almost get misty-eyed almost immediately. So I just love the way it's choreographed, where they're all, you know, they're holding hands and swaying side by side, just like in the short. It's freaking beautiful. God damn it. The setup kind of pisses me off, but the actual moment itself is great.
It's kind of funny, the Grinch not knowing the words to the song.
Yeah, that is a good additional gag as well.
Okay, my moment. I love, again, one of the big, great elements of this, one of the good elements of this movie. Cindy Lou Who and the Grinch kind of being paired together and having that dynamic. And one of the best scenes that exemplifies that is Cindy Lou Who selling the Grinch on the whole Holiday Cheermeister Award ceremony.
Mhm.
It's a lot of really great comedy, I got to tell you. I love just kind of the delivery between the two of them. You get to see there is some improvisation. Jim Carrey also fed her a few lines. So there's some funny lines. One of the best parts to me, one of those, he pulls a Deadpool, and it's really hilarious. He pulls a fourth wall breaking moment. I think it's just so hilarious. Where, first of all, after a few references that some people are a little harsh on, I like just kind of another Incredible Hulk reference where he's ripping the shirt off and he's green. But particularly, I love the moment where after he does his display of everything, like danger, danger. After all that stuff, all the wacky stuff, the payoff is that he's just exhausted and she's just not effective. I think you need a timeout. Like, or do you need a timeout? And there's the Grinch just looks at the camera. It turns out she's like in the fort, like she's lower in the shot, and then he looks towards the camera and says, "Kids today, so desensitized by violence in television and movies. What do you want?" You know, just I love the just him turns to the camera. Just cracks me up. And again, I love her being clever enough that she can sell the Grinch on, like, you know, Martha will be there. Well, she'll be on me like frugal flies and a slug horse.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I just love her like manipulating the Grinch like that, and it's like just appealing to the Grinch feeling he deserves an award, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
So real quick, a few really quick bits of probably the one I'll just mention one. I love the director bit. I think we all love the director bit. One of the best kind of out of context lines. Ron Howard also, by the way, just in case you wanted to know, he dressed up like the Grinch to kind of go through Jim Carrey's pain for a day. So he was directing on set.
Oh no!
Made up. He had like the makeup, the whole process in there. He's a director Grinch. It's pretty funny, just because, you know, Jim Carrey's, seriously, yeah, bear this in mind, Jim. This is a new thing at the time. The makeup this extensive.
Oh yeah, I still think it holds up. Like to this day, I think it's some of the most impressive makeup.
That's the thing, because you got to bear in mind, folks. He actually, Jim Carrey's kind of a method guy now and again with his methods of getting ready for the role. He studied, like, you know, torture, how to, like, basically how guys would endure torture. So he, like, you know, being like water tortured, not just water torture, but like he's encased in something. So he's like kind of getting over claustrophobia and stuff. Not that he has it, but, you know, like all the little tricks of like kind of bearing through being encased like that, and, you know, not having all your familiar faculties.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's Ron Howard, just kind of a show of respect, which is, you know, kudos for Ron Howard, by the way, nice guy.
Exactly.
But again, there's the line. It's just like he's training Max into kind of becoming the reindeer he needs. So he needs to test them first before they get the plan off the ground. He needs a reindeer, after all, because you can't have Christmas without a reindeer. He puts a little red nose on him like Rudolph. Okay, your name's Rudolph. You're a freak with the big nose. No one likes you. Then you say,
"Go home, red nose. Your mama's calling."
Santa asks for your help and you save Christmas. Wait a minute. Scratch that last part. Lousy ending anyway. And first of all, I love the parallel within this of like, again, the Grinch is a little bit like Rudolph in that, you know, he's the outcast in this movie, and, you know, he's like him eventually saving Christmas after he tries to destroy Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny. And of course, like after just Max, again, the dog does some great acting here. It's like, you know, pops the nose off, and then Jim Carrey, the best reaction ever. He just says, "Brilliant! You reject your own nose because it is a symbol of commercialism." Cut, print, move the gate check. cut, print, check the gate, moving on. And of course, he's wearing the baseball cap exactly like Ron Howard. Just really funny little bit.
Yeah, it's a total visual takeoff of Ron Howard.
I love brilliant out of context and cut, print, check the gate, moving on.
Okay. All right, so let's get to it. Pros and cons. Naughty and nice.
Okay, let's start at the nice. So we're going to cushion the fall a little bit here.
I mean, I think we've already brought it up.
We'll fire through the nice then. So obviously the makeup was great. Jim Carrey's performance very solid.
The makeup, the visuals, the production design all look fantastic. There's some shots ripped directly out of the book in the short that are just straight up perfect adaptation wise.
Got some great sequences like the song, like You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Anthony Hopkins, great choice for the narrator. I love. Oh, here's a great one. Here's one we should mention. I love the idea of the Who's being on a snowflake.
Yeah.
Because it's from Horton Hears a Who. That's how the Who's were introduced. They're like they're speck on the little flower.
Exactly. So that's kind of a nice sort of broad spectrum Seussian thing that they brought into it.
And with the Santa thing, in case anyone's curious, I think the way Ron Howard explained the way I kind of figured it was, the thing he confirmed it was that, Santa Claus, he has all the magic. He travel interdimensionally, bring Christmas to everyone.
Oh, dear God, I forgot about the Santa thing. It's so weird.
I just assumed that. I assume like Santa Claus, he's got magic, so he can shrink down and deliver Christmas to everyone.
I know, right? It's like, but Jesus Christ, I mean, we're about to talk about Tim Allen Santa Claus, and could you imagine that Santa Claus having to deal with like interdimensional travel and everything?
Again, one of the best examples of how Santa Claus does is that Bryan Cranston Christmas movie, but unfortunately, again, the means escape us.
All right.
Let's see. But again, the snowflake idea was neat. Let me try and think of any other quick things we can fire through. Again, seeing the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who as kind of co-protagonist, that's a good idea. Max the dog, pretty good. Great cast. Lighting. I'll tell you one thing. I really love. There's this one lighting trick, and don't worry, there's some good lighting tricks throughout the movie. There's this one in particular I really like. That even Arrow uses, at least he used in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
They put a green light on the Grinch. So in the Holiday Cheermeister sequence, you'll notice whenever the Grinch is in frame, there's this green spotlight on him.
Right.
I thought it was kind of neat. It's like, and plus when he's running around, you still that green light's following him. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. Again, visually, I don't think there's anything wrong with this movie at all. It's all in terms of the writing and the delivery in certain aspects.
And again, the idea of the concept of seeing why the Grinch hates Christmas, seeing that a little more, explored a little more, is not a bad idea. But again, we're going to get into that, so it's our bridging thing for this next segment here. The idea of seeing why the Grinch hates Christmas is not a bad idea to extend the runtime, but they went back too far, which brings us to the naughty.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't want to dwell on it too much. I don't want to get too negative on it because I do think there are a lot of redeeming qualities on this movie, but oh boy, I mean, just really quick, the horny teenagers at the beginning, just maybe if they would have made the teenagers a little more likable, maybe if it would have been little kids going up there instead of teenage. Here's the thing, BlueDragonFive. I like the idea of establishing the Grinch as kind of like this urban legend. I like the idea of him having this trap to scare the kids. I think the teenagers themselves are just horrible. Just really, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like the slasher movie teenagers. Just like really, just kind of dumb teenagers. It's like, it's like a bunch of Fred Joneses walking around.
Oh God. Okay, so I guess the big thing. Let's just talk about the freaking backstory and why it's unnecessary.
Well, big thing on it. We lose focus in the origin stuff. That structurally is the big problem. It loses a lot of focus on the Grinch by kind of going too much into the origin. He ruins the mystery, first off. Like, if the origin specifically, of course, begins with, baby Grinches, the idea that the Who babies come from these little parasol baby baskets that fly from the air.
Yeah, I mean, they're really taking the time to explain this shit.
Yeah, I mean, not wrong. It's a good visual. Just like seeing the baby baskets coming down like little parasols. It's kind of a neat visual thing, but it's a little out there. And of course, that being the origin of the Joker, oh god. Sorry. There's been some revelations in some Batman comics that got me thinking of Joker on the brain. Sorry, folks. No, but okay, but the Grinch. We see the origin of the Grinch, and he lands in the tree in front of his caretakers. One of which, by the way, played by the wonderful, talented Mindy Sterling, one of the caretakers, the thinner one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying Mindy Sterling in general. She's Fra Barbacus from Austin Powers. Very funny.
Yeah, I like the idea of these two raising him. I mean,
yeah, it's not
I
bad,
like their
but
characters.
unnecessary, entirely unnecessary though. Like we don't need to know this.
No, we don't. Not at all.
That's the problem. Yeah, just seeing like a fully grown Grinch just kind of hating the holidays and seeing like maybe some funny occurrences have happened to him, like just seeing like he just can't get any sleep because of all this holiday noise, which we get a taste of in the movie, sure. But like seeing,
oh
like,
my god, I should have had that as one of my favorite scenes. Oh, that is some Jim Carrey magic right there.
You mean when he's creating all the noises and the distractions?
Well,
yes. That kind of was the bridge. That would bridge my Cindy Lou Who scene. But yeah, that's the thing. Like just seeing him kind of hate the noise. And of course,
that was a great adaptation bit. They really took that whole, one little sentence in the book and ran with it.
Yeah, like seeing him hate the Who's and stuff, hate Christmas season. That's good. Like you see him like he just stood there hating the Who's alphabetically.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going through the names. Like that's funny stuff. Like let's see. Like, and that's really the only origin you need with the Grinch's backstory. Just knowing kind of just why, like some additional reasons why he just is sick of the holiday season. Maybe he tried getting to the holiday season at one point just for the heck of it. It panned out horribly. Maybe there was something like that in the backstory, but nothing. I mean, nothing like to the kid level. It's like Grinch just kind of living as a hermit.
Yeah.
Like what's still keeping him that way? Because like in the origin again, it's a. Okay, I'm sorry, it's so painful, folks. It's just, let's get into. He tries to impress Martha May, who tries to impress Martha by building her like a little Secret Santa thing.
First of all, that kid doesn't have a beard.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's more hair on just like the hair and like regular hair, like on the side and stuff. Not really anything.
It does not. That's always bothered me. That's always freaking bothered me.
So basically, tonight, it's like the day before class. They all say, okay, kids got your Secret Santa, give gifts to each other. Augustus here walks up to the Grinch and says, no, you have no chance with her. I mean, you're this young and you're 8 years old and you have a beard. Which, of course, he does not have a beard, which is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has a few whiskers, but I mean, the guy's covered in hair. Really? That's your main issue, the beard?
Exactly.
But again, the beard thing, they might just say the argument is like just saying hairy, but it's just going about it clumsily. But I don't know. But anyway, so Grinch he builds the young Grinch creepily in this really kind of scary sequence. He's like just hand making this like family heirlooms, jewels, and melting metals and stuff. I mean, he's inventive. You got to give him that. He creates this thing. He turns it into class, but again, he's also taken Augustus' advice, very poor advice, this bully of a kid, and he shaves, and we don't see the result, but we know it's not going to be good. So he's obscured his face as he's delivering his gift. And, then the teacher, again, the merciless teacher, the teacher was...
this teacher should be fired.
So, by the way, with this... this teacher... by the way, there was a deleted scene where...
It's okay, BlueDragonFive. We're about to talk about a really good principal coming up, so that'll make up for it.
True. But, here's the thing. Cindy Lou Who here there was a deleted scene where Cindy Lou Who brought up the Grinch, or she was questioning the Christmas season. I can't quite remember the specifics in that way. So this same teacher was more of an antagonist originally. Mm-hmm. And the idea is she is still there just in old makeup. So the idea is the teacher's still around and she still has nerve because she's laughing in modern day like she laughs in the past. This teacher is horrible. So she just keeps goading the Grinch. Obviously you can see this kid does not want to be seen right now. It's obvious. He has a bag over his head, obscuring with a book, and she just keeps prodding him. So he removes the boot, and you see, just he's got the little, he cut himself shaving, so he's got the little, the toilet paper, the
Just
bandages.
stupid. So stupid.
And then the teacher laughs among the rest of them. They all just laugh, and then of course Grinch is out. You can't really blame him for his actions. You know, he's
No,
tossing.
absolutely not.
He's tossing the gift. He's just like destroying decorations. You know, display of strength there, and just like he has this moment of like, just looks to Martha and says, I tried. And he runs out. And then there was one good element to this background. There's one element. He transitions to a really good scene. That's all I really like about the transition. Where he, you know, like you see this poor young kid Grinch just kind of climbing the mountain and just like standing there, and you see this little fade to adult Grinch. Then he reads off the phone book. But you know, it's a really good moment there as you pull in, you see like the anger still in the Grinch. It's a really good shot. But again, background. Any last things you want to rant about?
Just the over commercialism of the Who's. Like, I kind of get what they were going for, but at the same time, like, by far the most, like, I'll get to it when we get to our, since we already spoiled it, when we get to the animated special, I'll get to just how emotional that ending makes me, where all the Who's come out, and in spite of not having any presence, without hesitation, they start singing. And then that whole boo-hoo song. It fires me up, BlueDragonFive. It really does. It really gets under my skin, that boo-hoo song. In spite of me not really, you know, the origin is bad, but that boo-hoo song is like a slap in the face to the original. I hate it. I really hate it.
Well, of course, the worst
awful moment.
Well, let's not glaze over the worst song, Cindy Lou Who's song.
Right.
Was the worst scene in this entire movie.
You know what? I'd still have to go with the boo-hoo scene over this.
I will accept. And boo-hoo doesn't last long. This thing takes up a lot
I don't
of time.
care that it doesn't last long. It's the fact that it's a slap into the face to the original. That it's a quick moment, but it's it is the single most offensive thing about this movie to me. But
you know,
anyways.
you're gonna love this. And there's the lead scene where it went on longer. The boo-hoo.
Oh, of course it did. Of course it did.
Let's see. God. Again, there are moments where it's a little dark. It's like not organic in places, is what I mean. Like, you see, what I mean by that is like you see the sequence, as I mentioned, with him as a kid building the thing. It's like it's not really. It's hard to describe. It's something a little dark with like kind of the molding of things. Like when the Grinch, the end result of the sled he's built, the rocket sled. Again, I like seeing him build it, but I'm not crazy about. It seems like too kind of heavy metal in a way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It seems like too aggressive, you know. It just doesn't feel that Seussian. It's like not as simple. I know you couldn't get away with just the regular set. You had to make it fly in some capacity, but yeah, because they have to get it transport to the mountain. You need to make that somewhat believable, but I don't know. It's still a little too aggressive for me.
Okay, but really quick, going back to the Cindy Lou Who song, you know what's ironic about that song?
What?
Is, yeah, the song itself is really bad, and it slows the movie down to a halt, and I don't even really like it's like just singing to Christmas itself as an entity is kind of confusing. But the melody of that song is kind of the main driving force of the score, and it works really well in that regard.
Oh, boy.
You know, but you know what I mean, though, right? The whole... Da, 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 da. That's like the big overall kind of like arching theme of the movie, and it works so well, especially in moments like you said, like, you know, the lifting of the sleigh and everything like that. It's just the song itself is bad.
Yep. Okay, let's real quick. Of course, just last thing on that ties into the flashbacks, but also ties into commercialism things. You know, the mayor is far too oblivious, giving the Grinch, out of all the gifts you could have given, he gave him a shaver. Seriously? You invite the...
I think that was totally a setup. You don't think that was a setup?
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, the mayor's an idiot, so it's kind of hard to tell.
No, I took that as a malicious act. I totally took that as malicious.
Well, he said, remember, brings you back to old times. I mean, I guess, yeah, he thought of it, but I mean, yeah, it's malicious, but still stupid, even being malicious, though, because you invite the equivalent. I'm not saying he is this. I'm just saying to the Who's, he's the equivalent of a reformed criminal, a reformed serial killer to the Who's, and you antagonize this guy. You antagonize the guy that could bring your whole beloved thing to the ground.
Well, I think what the mayor was trying to do was he was trying to dehumanize the Grinch. That's what he's trying to do the whole movie.
That's what I'm saying. He's still antagonizing someone who's the mayor's thing is like throughout the whole thing. He's like, no, let's not involve the Grinch. The Grinch could ruin Christmas. You know, we don't talk about that guy. We don't like him. And yeah, we bring him there. So let's get him to be in a really bad mood so we can live up to all the hype. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's prod the beast. Yeah, he just came to a place of acceptance. He won an award. The Grinch is in a good mood. Then, of course, the mayor just brings it all down by getting him a shaver and then proposing to the girl of his dreams right in front of him.
Yeah.
What a prick. So again, the Who's on the whole there with the shaver gag, this piggybacks off of that. Just as we said, the Who's are very mean spirited. I mean, they're laughing at the Grinch's pain, and they're very commercial, and it's like Black Friday shopping level stuff. People getting trampled, and it's very scary.
Yeah, it is kind of Black Friday level.
And because they're mean spirited, it kind of makes the ending with the whole after the boo-hoo thing. After that, invite the Grinch. I love the overacting of it. Don't get me wrong. Invite the Grinch, destroy Christmas. It just kind of takes away the heart of the thing. Where the Who's have to be reminded that Christmas is. The Grinch has to learn that lesson, not the Who's.
Mm-hmm.
They're missing a big point of the story there. But again, just then with the direction they're going in, though, they didn't learn the lesson fast enough. Just the commercialism thing just gets lost. That's the issue. All right. There's some bad CG. The teen opening, which we went over. There's some gross out gags like the making out the dog's anus.
Yeah, that was a little bit unnecessary, not in the spirit of Seuss whatsoever.
Yeah, of course. Don't get me wrong. I kind of like the holiday cheermeister extravaganza stuff, but him being fed all that fudge, it's kind of gross.
Right.
I'm just saying, it gets a little gross. You see it like 3 times. Like, cut back on a little, would you? Okay, let's see. How's it stack up? I mean, I feel like we should get another adaptation of The Grinch at some point because there's a lot of stuff that this did well. Well, your wish has come true because it's in the works right now.
Is it really?
Well, I told you. Remember, the Illumination. They're doing the Grinch in animated form.
Oh, okay. I'm talking a live action now.
Oh, live action. Oh,
yeah.
That's never happening because of the misses. The guys.
I know. Freaking! I blame Mike Myers more than I blame this movie.
Oh, it is. Don't get me wrong. It's Mike Myers was the final straw. It's not this movie's fault. It's Mike Myers. Well, again, not Mike. It's not Mike Myers' fault. It's
everything is Mike Myers' fault.
Okay, let's not be too harsh on Mike Myers. We got to blame the people, not him.
Do a Wayne World revival, Mike. That's what everyone wants to see.
Anyway, so this obviously is not as good as the special.
No.
But it has good production design and some nice moments.
I think the production values are really why this movie exists and why people still care about this movie.
Oh, yeah. It's dazzling. You love the visual spectacle of it all.
It is. It's dazzling, and also I think Carrie just kind of, he carries it.
Yeah, and because of that, you get some nice moments in the special, in the movie.
Like we said, I think there's a lot. I do think his quote-unquote mugging to the camera is really one of the big strengths of this movie because it shows, it really gets, right up in there in terms of establishing his emotion, establishing his thought process. Just really well done overall. I don't know. I'm not.
Again, impressive makeup. It's... even some of the performances, they're all cranked up. Again, even the moments where the story's not reflecting it that well. Just the actors, you can see they're trying their best.
Mm-hmm.
It has some good Christmas themes in it, but again, it's missing the meat of the lesson, though. That's the issue with the whole commercialism thing. And good idea looking into using the commercialism parallel for Cindy Lou Who, but again, the town doesn't really learn anything until the very end, and it's not really like they've been learning it all along. But no, it's just they were spoon-fed the lesson, and
which is a big problem considering how powerful of a moment that whole thing is in the original.
Yeah, nothing's really done about the commercials. Grinch destroys Christmas 2 times, essentially.
Exactly.
It's like they don't learn anything because instantly they bought more stuff essentially. Even they rebuild the instant the Grinch has destroyed Christmas.
Hmm.
I mean, it just seems like the Who's are monsters. Really, it's like you ruin this guy's ruining this guy's life. He comes back at you and you're just laughing in his face like you tried something and you failed. Ha 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 ha. It's cruel. But again, I mean, there are some. I mean, it's a movie definitely worth watching around the holidays. I think you can give it a pass. Because again, they see those good elements you like about it. But of course, if you have to choose between this or the special, you're going to choose the special, hands down. Come on.
I'm glad I rewatched this though, because I haven't seen it in over a decade. I probably haven't seen this since around a year or two after it came out. And the things that I didn't like about it are still there, and I still don't like it, the backstory and everything. But visually, again, it's just the production values, just the effort that went into it in spite of some script problems. I really do think it's worth a watch.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I would say in spite of our flaws, it is probably the most flawed selection that we have in this year's seasonal shenanigans. Would you say so?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so in spite of the flaw, well, I don't know. I haven't seen Santa Claus 3, so we'll get into that.
Oh,
I haven't seen it. I could like it. Don't get me wrong. I could like it. But anyways, so speaking of which, speaking of the Santa Claus, we will be next episode of Seasonal Shenanigans. We will be talking about the sequel to the original Santa Claus with an E, starring Tim Allen, The Santa Claus 2. Oh yes. All right, and that's it.
All right. Well, kids, time to dash away all. But as we wave goodbye, don't you cry. We'll be back again next time
with even more seasonal shenanigans.
Fa la 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 la.
Jury duty, blackmail, pink slip, jury duty.